Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. So last time we were looking at trying to add view counter to each post that we view. Now, before we do that, I realized that maybe it would be a better idea to show you how a basic widget works before we start doing some modification, because the code that we copied for widgets, which is inside template parts widgets, already comes with a well-defined widget here that actually works. So you don't even need to change anything and it's going to work. So let's investigate a little bit how this basic widget works before we start doing some modification. So I think that's only fair. So what I'll do is I'll remove this text here that says any text here, which is what we are seeing over here. So let me remove this one and let me put back what is supposed to be there. So once I do that, it's going to display something else. Now it's empty here. But what we need to do is, let me open this in a different tab. Let me open the admin section. That's what I want to open. Okay, so in the admin section, if we go to appearance, widgets. Okay, widgets. That's where we're supposed to be. Come on, come on, come on. Okay. All right, so it takes a while to load the widget. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, it does take a while. JavaScript. Okay, so our widget is this one. I think this is the one trying to show here. So now keep in mind that when the widget first loads here, it shows you the edit version of the widget. Now that area is this right here, the form. This is the form function. So what you see here is simple HTML. So there's an input here with a class name. Now these are just classes for that come with WordPress. So you can put your own if you have, let's say, Bootstrap there. So that's all good. And then here it echoes this is the ID. So it gives this one an ID. And the ID for this one is the field title here. This get field ID title. And then it escapes the attribute. So you use this function to escape the attribute, because in case the attribute contains special characters, so you use the escape attribute there. And then same thing with the name, we use escape attribute because it takes two variables. I think this is the field ID, and then it gets that field ID from there. Same thing here, the field name, and then the field value, of course, right there. So if you're going to put your own inputs here, just need to duplicate this and just change those title and name them appropriately as how you want things to work. So most viewed posts, no preview available, that's okay. If I click on it, then it shows me the form. So if you look at this, there's title and then there's text. So if I write my title here, this is my widget title like this, and then some widget text like so, and then I can just click away. This should save things. So there's my widget title and some widget text, and if I now update, this should show up here. So let's refresh that page, and there we go. So my widget title, some widget text. So that was saved to the database because we used a form function here, and then it updated when we clicked away, and then it displayed the content. So if, let's say, I want to add an extra field here. So we have two fields, right? Let me click on this again. We have the title, we have text. Now let's say I want to add one more field here. Maybe, I don't know what I would call it. Maybe I would call it type or something. So what I need to do first is to create one attribute here for the form to look at. So there is title and then there is text. So all you need to do is, you don't really need to understand what's going on here. You can go through it though if you want to, but you don't really need to understand what's happening here. All you have to do is, since there's already text provided, all you have to do is duplicate and change accordingly. So here, let's give this one a different name. So instead of title text, let's call this one comment or something. I'm not sure. So all instances of text here, just add comment. So what this does here is just to give it, if the object is empty, like for now, comment does not exist in the database, right? So when reading to populate the form with old data, because right now if I go like this old data here, once I click to try and edit, you see I'm going to get this old data that exists, so I can edit it. So this is what this is doing, just so that in case there is this doesn't exist, so it's checking if it's empty. If it's not empty, it will use that instance, right? That is the code from the database. If it does not exist, then it's just going to put an empty string. Now this text domain and escape HTML is just for this is for localization, meaning if the language is different with your WordPress, maybe you're not using English, this is going to translate and escape the HTML. Usually the function for translation is just double underscore like this, but there's a version with an escape HTML and a double underscore, which does two things. So escape the HTML and at the same time use localization. So we just leave this as it is because that's an empty string, which is all good. And then now usually the text domain, if you're going to use text domain, it means every time you're using a translation, use text domain as well, because that's the identifier. Or you could use your theme title here. So every instance of this, just put your theme title there or your theme name. Okay, so we've changed that to comment, meaning we've created an empty variable here. Comment. Okay, so now we can add one of these here, an input field for comment. So maybe we add it at the end. I also want that to be a text area, so I'm just going to duplicate this part here. So right here I have a label that shows me what this is about. So here the label is text, so I can just write something like comment. So I'll put a capital C there because that's what the viewer is going to see. Wait a minute. Field ID. Well, this is for the field ID. So let me just try and put a small letter here instead. Let's use that as an ID. The actual text that the person sees is this one. So comment, I'll use a capital there. Okay, and what else here? Let's see, text area, yes, the attribute. So here, let's change text again from this. Let's make Control D to select more. Control D, no, that's for type text, so that shouldn't change. Sorry, my bad. Let me just copy these two and write comment like that. And let's go down here. So field name, field ID, it still remains of type text. And then this is the default value, whatever was gotten from the database. So right here, it's echoing text. Now this text is from this variable at the top. So let's look at that, this one right here. So since we created this variable, that's what we want to use. So it's initialized at the top there and then displayed down here. So I'm just going to paste this one there like so. So now we have three inputs here, and if I save, go back here and let me refresh my widget area so that I see the new inputs. So let's give it a second here for it to load. And if I click, so you see nothing looks different here, but if I click on this, now I have three inputs. So there's the original title text, and then finally there's a comment here, right? But now you see this remains like that. So I will write this is a comment down here, and if I click away, it doesn't display any of that information, right? If I click to edit, this is a comment is still there. Now let me try instead and refresh. Let's leave the page. Yes, let's refresh. Let's see if that was actually saved as the others were. So loading, and click on that, and you see that it comes back empty. It didn't save like these were saved. So let me put 2 here so that you see that it's actually saving. So this is a comment again, and let's update that. Okay, and there is a 2 there, of course. If I click, nothing here, you see that? Okay, but this other one is saving. So why is that? Now the reason it's not saving is because saving is done in the update function here. So in the update function, what we need to do is add an instance version for our comment. So I'm just going to duplicate this and just add one for comment like this. So we are sending this inside the instance, which is like the post variable, right? So instance comment there, and then we're checking if there's nothing in there. If it's not empty, use that instance comment. Okay. Otherwise, you put the new instance text. Wait a second, what's happening? Okay, so this is the if statement. We're checking the comment, the new instance. So here we are given two inputs, the new instance and the old instance. What this simply means is that the new instance is the post, what was entered by the user in the inputs in the post variable. And then the old one is what is in the database right now. So there's just the new information and the old information here. So you can use the old information to do something before updating the new information if you want to. So this is why both of these are supplied here, just in case you need to make reference. And so if you don't, so you just get new instance comment. If this is set, use it. Otherwise, save something empty. So let's change that to comment as well, like this. Okay, cool. So now that we've done this, we are saving into the database. So let's see if that actually helps. So I'm going to refresh the page again, one more time, and we're going to wait for the widget to load again. So let me click on that, and let's add, this is a comment again. This is a comment, and let's update. Okay, if I click though, okay, so there it is. This is a comment. Everything is working now because I am able to add and save. So 2 functions are working, the adding and the saving. It's just the display that isn't working. So let me refresh the page just to see that that was actually saved. So this is a comment, should be there after I refresh the page, click on it, and you see it right there. The only difference is that if I click away and allow the widget to display its default position, I don't see my comment at all. Now that is easy to add because we know that this widget function is what actually displays the widget content. So all we have to do here is, just like we did with the others, let's just duplicate this one. So here, if the title is not empty, it's displayed here. Okay, so forget about the apply filters for now. This just adds a hook of some kind here. That's what this does, but we don't need to go into that. All we need to do is just make sure that you have escape HTML, and then you can do, because just for security reasons this is important, otherwise somebody could type in some JavaScript in the widget and have it run, which is not cool. Because for example, let me do this. if I were to simply echo, because I can just echo the instance right here, so I'm just going to copy that instance and paste it there, and this time I want to echo the comment instance like so. So come back up here and let's refresh the page again. Okay, now that we've echoed it, it should show up here on the by design. Okay, so there you see it. This is some text and then this is a comment, though I should have added a break tag there somehow. But now the security issue I was talking about, if I click on this and instead I add some script tags like so, script, and then I say alert and just say something like hello and then close that script. So this is valid JavaScript, and you see immediately I'm done, it actually runs that JavaScript, which can be very dangerous. So if I update this, okay, so it's updated and I click on the side to see this. Now if I come back to this and refresh the page, you see that the JavaScript runs just like it's part of the website, which could be good depending on what you're trying to do with your widget. That's how you can add some JavaScript, but it couldn't be good if somebody used that to hack your system. So this is where, if I add escape HTML, this is going to eliminate that issue. So if I do this, and let me just add a text domain, let me copy this like so. I'll put it here and close that tag. So like I mentioned, text domain could be your theme title there. Okay, so once I do this time and refresh the page, you see that instead of the script running, is simply displayed as text because it has been escaped now. So that's how you neutralize possible scripts that are unintended. So this is how you display the other content. Now, if I want this to show up better, I will put some break tags here as well. I could do that, no problem, because remember, this is just ordinary HTML. So refresh, and there we go. This will show up more, will be more apparent here. If I refresh the page, you see this will be on 2 lines, like so. Yes, just give it a second there, and there we go. So it's on the second line with the script there. Okay, so this is the basic premise for widgets. This is how widgets work. So this is just an area to define these variables like before title, after title, what to put there, and then this public function widget is the thing that displays the widget. So you really don't need any of this. This is just for a place to display your content. So if I could get rid of all this and just simply say echo hello there, like that. So I've just gotten rid of everything from the widget function and just added that. And if you go back here and refresh, that's all you see. See that? Hello there, and it's still a valid widget, just like that. The only reason we have all those things in there is because we want to read from the database and display the information from there. So let me undo this real quick there. I was just showing you that all of this is just for display purposes. That's it. So let me remove this like so. Okay, so that is what displays. This is the actual widget, and then here is the function to input some new data. So even here, same thing. What I can do is, if I remove, because this is all HTML down here, I could remove everything here as well and just echo testing like that. This too is going to work. It's in the form. So what will happen now is if I try to edit my widget and just click boom. Now let me refresh so that it loads the information again. Let's see now. Let me give it a second. And then if I click on it, you see, instead of seeing those inputs, all I see is testing, because that's what I've added here. So it's that simple. So let me undo this as well before And then finally, this is what happens when you update. Now, if I remove all of this code, nothing will be saved in the database. That's the effect of messing with this. So all you have to do is just duplicate this to add extra fields and then change your IDs and the instance name there, and that's it. So that's how a widget works in a nutshell. So what we'll be doing from here on is to edit all of this and let the widget display different kind of data. Okay, so I will see you in the next video.